Creative arts is a very important aspect of every single student's learning experience here at primary school. Today I met some key players in that experience. Mr. Nicholls, our leader of music, Ms. Rayner, our leader of art, and lastly Mr. Mo, who's joined us this year as our drama teacher. This was a very significant step for the primary school in that we, for the very first time, have a formal drama experience for our students from a full-time drama teacher. These educators are leading the integrated art experience for every student in our school. What do you think the role of creative expression is in the arts and in drama itself?
Drama helps students understand their own basic emotions and other people's emotions, and it helps them read situations and respond accordingly to how they are feeling and how other people are feeling. It helps generate some sort of a conversation in real life, which is great for little kids to learn, especially at the primary level.
I see art as a really wonderful vehicle for children to tell us more about themselves, their interests, where they come from, their background. And there are lots of different ways they can do that in the art room, not only through the final products that they create, but also their learning journey in the process and how they interact with other students, what they share about their experiences. Assessing creativity is difficult, and a final product that a child creates doesn't always tell us everything that they know. And during the process of creating art, students are exercising a lot of different learning behaviours. It tells us about their perseverance, it tells us about their risk-taking ability, their ability to communicate with others, as well as how they interact with the different materials in the process of creating their final piece. So as a teacher, watching them along the journey tells us as much about what they're learning as the final product at the end.
At Alice Smith, we have a lot of events, particularly for primary age students, one of which is Music Moments, where we really see that expression come to the forefront, particularly in front of a very safe audience, whether it's teachers or parents or their peers. That gives them a chance really to express themselves and the work that they've been doing in quite a safe environment. That might be a workshop environment as well, to be able to show their peers, this is what I'm working on at the moment, and continue developing that later down the line. One of the ways in which we approach music education here at primary level is through a multitude of media. So it's not just an instrumental vehicle that we look at, it's not just the voice. Embodiment is a large part of that, and movement and dance have a large impact on the way that we learn.
So where do you see the integrated arts experience being in the future for Alice Smith?
Drama right now is pretty new here at Alice Smith. And what's really exciting about it is that we can make a lot of connections through various different disciplines around that we're teaching over at the school. And right now specifically, we're working on an inquiry class. The students are working on, let's say, poetry. And what we're doing in drama class is maybe breaking down the poems and trying to relate them over to real life examples and how students can bring those to life through tableau, which are still images, or maybe a role play, turning the poem into some sort of a script and then presenting it together. And obviously the students are going to be working in groups through that whole process and them creating it themselves.
Towards the end of last year, we had a really successful production of Peter Pan in school. And it was a wonderful opportunity for not only the teachers to collaborate within the arts department, but for the students to start to develop an understanding of how the arts are interconnected. The students who created the set and the costumes for the production had the opportunity to see those things being used by the students who were performing. And we're really hopeful that in the future we can continue to develop opportunities for students to see how the different arts subjects interact with each other, and to have opportunities like the production to put that into practice and to see that happening in real life.
Future of the integrated arts experience for students beyond primary and running into secondary. We've talked briefly about that before, about the importance of a really coherent experience for the student as they move through year groups and into the secondary.
Particularly with the music curriculum at the moment, myself and Jane Handley at secondary, we're working on developing the transition, to smoothen out that transition so that students don't have a massive difference within the delivery or the language of the classroom, particularly for music. Also have access to the same experiences, whether it be our EPAs for orchestras and choirs, and areas for collaboration through performance.
Where do you see the role of art in integrating the child's overall learning experience in the schooling?
So our first unit this year was around community, learning about community, who are members of our school community. And we used visual art as a vehicle to explore into that. So we had different members of our school community, from our security guards, our cleaning staff, all the way through to our teachers, being interviewed by students who then, after finding out more about them and their interests, created a visual portrait of that person. And you'll see in our corridor that we've got so many different artistic styles there and different ways to express the different members of our community and how they're important to us.
So one thing that we trialled last year was kind of a proof of concept of our curriculum cultural celebrations, and incorporating those into the curriculum. Every student has the chance to access and celebrate that culture. So one of the things we did last year was collaborate with the languages department on delivering our celebrations, so Diwali, Christmas, Raya, and Chinese New Year. That's something that we're working on right now, is developing dance, storytelling, presenting, hopefully be some drama in there as well, and then musical celebrations, so that it's a really holistic package of everyone having access to that culture.
I believe drama is excellent for language learners as well. It helps them be in a safe zone where different languages are being practiced, and they could express themselves freely in their own home language, and still the same powerful message is shared across. Having speakers of different languages around could help with fostering empathy and encourages collaboration with people from all over the world.
For myself as principal, the integrated arts is incredibly important, particularly in developing every child's sense of self, and particularly a strong sense of identity and a strong sense of self. So I'm very excited to see the team led by these three key people leading the arts experience this year in the school, and the learning that will happen from that.